and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and I decided I wanted to make one of those like really cool looking tiny like trailer homes, you know, the ones that like I feel like the people that live in them would just like travel constantly and then they would just like park their home somewhere. And I feel like that would be such a cool thing to do, although I know I probably wouldn't do well actually living in a tiny home, but I thought I would give it a try. And I will say, like, we have this like trailer in like a debug item, so I pulled that out and I was trying to get it to where the home would perfectly sit on top of the trailer. However, if I lowered it anymore, like parts of the trailer would like show through. And so anyways, I had this like little bit of a gap you can see there, but don't worry, I just put some bushes in front of it because I couldn't figure out how to hide it. So it's fine, you can't see it. So we'll just pretend. But I wanted this to be like one of those cute tiny homes, and I think it turned out really nicely. I did struggle a bit with the outside and deciding like which windows I wanted, what colors I wanted to emphasize, but I decided to go with that eco lifestyle like facade on the outside, and I think that looks so good. Like, I love the texture that that wood gives to this lot. And this is actually a lot in Britechester, in case you were like wondering where this was actually located. I recently built on this lot and I really liked it, so I thought I would go back there, and I feel like it's like super sunny and just like a really cute lot. And since it's like more of a wide lot than it is deep, like I thought that would work really well for this like modern trailer tiny home build thing that I had in mind. And it has this like tiny little porch, which I thought was really cute, which we end up putting a couple chairs out there, like literally at the very end of the build, because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to put out there yet, but I end up just putting some like tiny like chairs and stuff out there. They're not tiny chairs. What I say that I'm talking about a tiny build, but anyways, we put chairs out there. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what's happening. Like, I'm just having like quite the morning trying to record this, I'm telling you. But anyways, we just add in a bunch of like foliage here. And interesting, I did like the outside first and then I did the inside second, and I'm trying to remember like how do I usually build. I don't know, I feel like sometimes it just kind of depends on the build which one I do first, whether I do the inside or the outside. I think maybe because this was such a small lot, like I figured I would go ahead and do the outside of the build, if that makes sense. I feel like if it's a bigger yard, I tend to do it last because it's a little bit daunting to try to figure out exactly what I want to do with this space, but I try to keep this pretty minimal and just kind of have some rocks, a few plants around, and I end up actually using a fence on two of the corners of this lot to kind of define the area, if that makes sense, without having to put like a ton of stuff there. And then we end up having like this little space where I end up putting the mailbox and the trash can, which you'll see here just in a little bit. So just, again, putting some stuff around. And I know that like, since this is supposed to be like a trailer, having all of that vegetation around it is kind of random, but I don't know, I like the way it looked in a Sims, and we can just pretend that it works. I mean, I don't know, maybe they're like just really good at putting like backing up the trailer right between those bushes. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to do that because that just sounds like a nightmare to try to maneuver a whole home. But you know what? Maybe this sim is just really good at it. And maybe this is like their normal like home lot, so it's a little more done up than like maybe when they go and try to travel everywhere. I don't know. I'm just totally making up a story here. I actually didn't think too much about like the Sims that would live here, I guess, in terms of like what they would do and stuff like that. I feel like I've said that a lot lately. I don't know. I guess I've just had a lot of ideas for like the builds I want to make, but not necessarily the Sims I want to make it for, whereas sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to make a build for a chef or an artist or something like that, in which case like that dictates how I actually make the build. But in this case, I just really wanted to make one of these cool little tiny homes, and it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of a camper, I guess, but it's a trailer instead. I don't know. I've never had an RV or a trailer or anything like that, so honestly, I don't know a whole lot about it, but we do have a full bathroom, kitchen, dining space, living space, and a bedroom in here, which I really like. I believe it is a tiny home by definition of the game, so you should get some of those perks. However, I don't think it's considered a micro home, which is like the 32 tile limit. I think instead this one is a little like less than the 64 tile limit, because I wanted it to kind of be the size of the trailer, if that makes sense. So that kind of decided like how big this was going to be. And we end up using like a 3-tile bathroom, which if you didn't know, you can actually do that and make it functional. Like on one end, you put the sink, on the other end, you put the toilet, and then right in front of the door, you put one of those showers, that the one that either came with Snowy Escape or University, and your sim can still use it and it still works out. So like, I know that sounds really weird and kind of looks weird, but it is functional and it does work that way. And I feel like you could actually get away with a 2-tile bathroom if you decided not to put a sink in it, or you could take a tile out of the kitchen and not have a sink there, because you only technically need one. But I don't know, I like to have 2 if I can fit it in there. Maybe I need to try to do like the smallest house I can possibly make. Maybe that's something like a challenge that I need to try. Let me know if that sounds interesting and if that's something that I should try. I know people have tried it before and I honestly don't know how successful they were. Like, I can't remember, I've watched videos like a really long time ago of people trying to make like the smallest house possible, but I would still want it to be like functional and like look nice and all that kind of good stuff, because I know you can do some like weird shenanigans where like all of the furniture overlaps and stuff like that, but I would kind of want it to be a little more like, I don't know, functional in the sense that it looks functional. I don't know. But we do end up having this small little dining area and this living room area. And I'm not going to lie, when I started, I wasn't exactly sure the style that I was going to use when I was doing this, but I ended up using these really cool looking rugs and a lot of these like warm brown tones and like the reds and oranges. I feel like I've been using that a lot lately, but I don't know, I'm just like super into it right now. I feel like I go through these phases of like items and colors and like color schemes that I'm really interested in using. Like, I know I did a lot of like black and white, like modern stuff, and now I'm doing a lot of these really like deep, rich tones, and I don't know, I'm really liking it. So who knows what my next phase is going to be, but as usual, if you want to leave me a comment down below of stuff you might want to see on the channel, I would love to read through those. And also, this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you'd like to download it under my ID spicensprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to check it out. And as usual, you can like redecorate it, you know, do whatever you want with it if you just like the idea of the trailer but you're not like super keen on like the actual decor I used, you know, feel free to change it up here. And I decided to use those really cute like pieces from, oh my goodness, I think it was, oh yeah, Dream Home Decorator. The stove and the oven that were kind of split up. I just thought that was really cute, so I ended up using that. And then, like I said, we've got this really cramped bathroom, but you know what? It makes it work. Like, it's fine. I guess you don't really spend like too much time in the bathroom, so I guess it kind of works out, right? And I do not believe, I'm trying to remember, do I end up putting a dresser in the bedroom? I cannot remember. I think maybe I did. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyways, you don't have to actually have a dresser in a Sims build in order for your Sims to be able to like change clothes. Of course, it's nice to have it in terms of realism, like, because you know, you probably could use some storage, but you only need a mirror technically. So I don't know if I end up, I feel like this is just a really small space and I just end up using the mirror, which I think is what happened here. So I don't know. I mean, realistically, like, obviously that doesn't work in real life, but in The Sims, I'm going to take advantage of like the ability for your Sim just to be able to look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm going to plan my outfits, and then like all of that just like works out really nicely for them. But anyways, I just add in some of these cute curtains, which somehow I made work on these really weird looking windows, but I love these windows so much, but I feel like I never get to use them. And just adding in a little bit of lighting here so you can actually see what's going on. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.
I see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will